Hey, let's do my makeup routine while I tell you the story of how I started the #1 girls club for women in business. So I just wrapped up my skincare routine using my Larae Skin, which I've created myself. This is from our signature collection called The Mysteries of God, or Le Mystère de Dieu. I absolutely love doing my skincare routine. It brings me peace, it brings me back. Like if I had a long night or I'm expecting a long day, I love doing my skincare routine to get me started. So this is our Grace Honey Oil, and it's just to seal and lock in all of the moisture after all of the hard work that we've done to get our skin this beautiful. It's lightly fragranted. It has like this sweet vanilla honey fragrance, not too heavily, but something soothing and nourishing that I feel like a little bit goes a long way and is definitely enjoyable. This is something, depending on your skin type, that you can do before your makeup. I don't wear primer. Comment below and tell me if I'm wrong for that, but I don't like the way primer makes me feel, so I started as an odd alternative. Started using the Grace Honey Oil just to see, and I actually love the way it makes me feel. And I think it helps my skin to absorb the makeup better, where it almost looks seamless. So let's get into it. So we're gonna get started with my foundation. I use the Matte Poreless Foundation by Maybelline. Now, this is the color I usually use. It's 312. This is what I usually use, but I was at the store and I was in such a rush and didn't realize. So I got 1,000 shades lighter at 238. So what I have to do then is mix it with this. This is Tan 320 Extra Shot Caffeine Concealer. I do not know who this is by. This was given to me, so there's that. But ultimately, here, look, I'll show you. This is what I usually use. So you can see the huge difference there, but the goal is to mix this with this with this, to try to get as close to the shade as possible. Also, I'll be using a brush. I saw on TikTok probably some lady using a brush when she did her foundation, and I actually like the way it feels and goes on better than using a beauty blender. So I've been doing this for a couple of months actually, and I ain't mad at it. All right, so this is concealer. So I'm gonna go in, do a little tiny bit of this super duper bright foundation, and just like start like blotching it around my face, and then like paint it in like I'm Picasso or something. I probably put way more on there than I need to, but you know. So anyways, let's talk about the #1 girls club for women in business. It's called the Elite Society. If you've never heard of it, you've got to get into it. I went to school for public relations and marketing, so I'm a publicist by trade. I do own my own PR marketing firm called Elite Performance. Now, a couple of years ago, I started offering business consulting services through my PR firm. The reason was I had a lot of people coming to me wanting to work with me who had a great brand, who had a great product or offered great services, had quality customer service, just excellent. But I realized that they needed a little bit of refining, and which is one of our specialties now, which is image refinement. Well, at the end of these like remote coaching calls that I was doing, I had a lot of women saying like, oh, I wish there was someone in my city that's like you, like someone I could get coffee with, brainstorm ideas with, just like hang with. And I want to say after like the third conversation about that, I realized there are women like me in various cities. Maybe they just don't know that each other exists. So I started formulating what's now called the Elite Society to create a sisterhood, right? And develop a community for female entrepreneurs and what I like to call want-repreneurs, meaning you want to be an entrepreneur, where we facilitate safe spaces, right? So whether that's a networking event, or we're going on a trip together somewhere, or we're doing virtual trainings, I just wanted it to be something where you feel like you can connect with like-minded women I think that's super important. So to kick off the launch of this, what I hope to be someday major corporation or community for women, to kick it off, I embarked on a 12-city tour. We went to all the major cities: Chicago, New York, LA, Las Vegas. We kicked it off in Arizona. That's where I was living at the time. And we just went around and just like, I brought together local female entrepreneurs, and we had like really impactful conversations about growing and learning, education, how to apply certain things within your business, whether that's human resources. I interviewed celebrity makeup artists. I brought together a panel of women just to have these conversations and offer resources, and then also connect them with the other women in their community. So a lot of these women are really close friends. A lot of these women have started businesses together or have co-hosted events together. Like the list is really endless, and I feel like the mission was accomplished through that endeavor. It was called the Elite Society Women in Business Meetup. We didn't do a tour this year because during the morning of the second to last event, remember we had 12 cities on the calendar, I actually broke my ankle. So I was out of commission for a while. I had surgery, went through physical therapy, like the whole nine. So we're back at it again, and hopefully gonna be able to do something a little bit more extensive this time. It was just a one-day conference, and I brought the ladies in, and it was amazing. I'm gonna blend this in here a little bit because I feel like it's too off. Anyway, so the Elite Society, we offer monthly virtual trainings and then quarterly in-person trainings in a different city. I just moved to Houston. Like after I broke my ankle, I had to move there and had surgery and everything like that. So I'm living in Houston now, which I think is super cool so far. And I'd love to host some events in Houston. In fact, we have a couple of them coming up. Just go to theelitesociety.co to see all of our happenings. But our community is filled with incredible, trailblazing, resilient, fun, passionate, exciting, wealthy women. And when I say wealthy, I mean not just financially, but in heart, in spirit, mentally. Like, I really can't explain to you the type of women that God has blessed me to come in contact with. I think I count it a blessing, and it's a real honor. But we do have monthly or annual memberships, where you can just secure your membership for the entire year, which ultimately gets you access to all of our virtual trainings free. If you're not a member, you do have to pay per session. So at this point, my camera died and I had to obviously change things up a little bit. So enjoy the voiceover for the remaining of this video. So as you can see, I'm just kind of blending everything in here. But back to what I was saying for the Elite Society. So our annual membership covers the entire year. So again, you get access to all of our virtual trainings, complimentary, as well as discounts on our in-person quarterly event ticket prices. Sometimes that's a brunch, sometimes that's just like a girls' day out. It really just depends on what we're doing, but it's typically in a different city every quarter, so something to look forward to. Another thing about the Elite Society is that we do have an online university. If you go over to jointheelitesociety.com or just go to theelitesociety.co, you can check that out. Now, briefly, I just want to say with this makeup look, I just started doing eyeshadow not too long ago, and I've actually been having a lot of fun with it. So this is me enjoying the fact that I just bought this palette and experimenting a little bit with it. This one is the World Tour eyeshadow collection from my girl, Christina DeBarge, and her collection, Chrissy D Cosmetics. So I like to use this like really light pigmented little eyeshadow to go in and just like add a little flair, brighten things up a little bit. I use that at the end. So anyways, the Elite Society is the #1 girls club for women in business. So if you are a female entrepreneur or a female want-repreneur, as I like to call it, meaning you want to be an entrepreneur, then this is the community for you. Again, it is virtual, so you can connect globally. And then if we're in person and we're either in your city or you're just looking for an excuse to get away, you can always join us. So this is one of my absolute favorite mascaras. It's this CoverGirl. There's no clump, and with one application, look at this little swipe, watch. I am a new woman. This video is not sponsored by any of the products you've seen here, so get into it. Well, actually, I'm lying. My palette from Chrissy D Cosmetics was actually one of our tour sponsors, and she sponsored a bunch of palettes. So anyone who attended the Elite Society Women in Business Meetup Tour actually did get their own little eyeshadow palette. So thank you. Shout out to Chrissy D. But as far as the other products, these are simply some things that I love. Again, I've just started wearing makeup within the last couple of years, and so I've been experimenting a little bit. And so far, this mascara, of all the ones, I've tried at least 5, and that's not even being dramatic. So far, this one, it has my heart. Look at her. Just gorgeous. So back to what I was saying. When it comes to the Elite Society, I'm really passionate about just connecting like-minded women. I think there's this really nasty stigma around female relationships and collaborations and friendships, and the fact that things can get really catty and we're not getting along and things like that. But I think it's important to be able to foster collaborative atmospheres, right? Like, everyone was called to do something different in the earth. We all have a purpose. God has a plan for all of our lives. Like, if everyone just gets in their lane and stays there and then just cheers each other on as we go, I think we'd get a lot further in life, and that's what it's all about. We cover topics like marketing, social media. We talk about the importance of having a refined brand. We talk about fostering community within your own organization, because it's important for things like customer retention, to collect data, customer referrals. Like, you want to be able to create your own community within your business or your brand in order to continue to see growth. So we talk about these things. We also talk about how to structure things in your business. We have design principle courses, all sorts of things, just from like as my dad would say, in a business, from the front door to the back door. Like, what happens the moment that someone clicks onto your website or walks into your establishment? What is that protocol? What does that procedure look like? What positions are in place, and how do you expect these positions to be run? For a lot of female entrepreneurs, especially now since COVID, I think most of us have either run or are currently running our businesses all by ourselves, which means that you are the design team, you are the marketing expert, you are human resources. So there's all of these different parts that you play as a solo entrepreneur, where if you're not constantly refining the tools in your box, you're not going to develop or grow. There's a statistic that says if you can make it the first 5 years of your business, that chances are you'll survive a lot longer than that. And another thing about being a business coach, as I stated in the beginning of all of this, I was coming in contact with people who were ready to give up, and they hadn't even fully reached year 1, or they're right in the middle of year 2, and it seems like things weren't getting better. Well, what they were lacking is probably just community to say, hey, keep going. Hey, you can do this. Sometimes being an entrepreneur, especially when you're first gen, you don't necessarily have friends and family who support you on your journey. They may not even understand it. It might not even be that they don't want to support you. They just might not get it. But with the Elite Society, that's what it's all about. We're connecting women who can say, hey, babe, I see you, what you're doing. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. Like, keep going. Like, let's grab coffee and grab our laptops, and we'll do work together throughout the day. Or just if you need a pick-me-up, or you need someone to cheer you on, whatever that looks like, the Elite Society is here for you. And I know I sound like I'm getting a little loud. Maybe that's your girl getting passionate. And like, is this a podcast or a vlog? But seriously, like, it really is a huge concern of mine for us to be connected to the right people. When you're a solo entrepreneur, especially if you're first generation, sometimes it can be difficult for your family or even your friends to understand the journey that you've embarked on, and they may tell you to give up, or it's not worth it, or try again another time. But if you're connected to people who are in the same space as you, who are just as passionate as you, who are just wanting and yearning to make an impact in the earth, then 9 times out of 10, you're more likely to persevere than being isolated and not being connected to a community like this and trying to go it alone. Additionally, through the Elite Society University, we offer digital downloads, we have our courses, we even have templates. So say you're not a design expert, but you need some social media content, and maybe you're not in the space to hire a social media marketer at this time. We have templates. You can just upload them to Canva, and girl, if you don't know about Canva, you need to get into it. Again, this video is not sponsored, but it should be. Get you a Canva account, get you a free account, or upgrade to premium, whatever that looks like for you. But you can actually go into the Elite Society University and download some of our unique templates that we personally created for you, where all you've got to do is go in and customize it. So you may add your brand or product photos, you might add your logo, you might add your about me information, or some of the bullet points that outline the specifics of your organization. All of these things are tailored just so that we can provide resources for women. It really is a one-stop shop. And this is not me trying to sell you on it. I just more so wanted to bring a little bit of more insight. I have a lot of people who are familiar with the Elite Society and the Elite Society University, but they don't exactly know all of the really cool things that we do or what we have to offer. So I wanted to just kind of carve out this time to give you that information so that if that's something you're interested in, then you can check it out. And if not, then hopefully when you need it, it'll be there for you. So that's all for today. Here is the final look. I hope you like it. Here's the photos I took in the sunlight. Thank you so much for checking this video out. Be sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share it with somebody you love. Until next time, peace.